Hi guys. Today I wanted to talk and maybe rant a bit about how I feel about 4th gen and 3rd gen stans' attitude towards 4th gen groups. I don't know if it's talked about, but these two fanbases honestly can go too far when it comes to criticizing or even disliking this new era of K-pop. Disclaimer: it's okay to dislike things. This isn't about people who critique and compare with reason and grace, but radical people who take criticizing and turn it into hatred. Also, if you get mad or want to correct me on anything in the comments below, I'm open to taking criticism. Anyway, let's get on with the video. What is the first thing that comes to someone's mind when they think of K-pop? Probably BTS or Blackpink, maybe even Twice. Groups like these made K-pop more of a worldwide trend, reaching heights that no one ever imagined a group from a country as small as Korea can accomplish. These groups have become loved, and their longevity even after they leave the music industry is something to aspire to have as a musical artist. You might be asking, why does this matter? Well, when humans get attached to something, whether it be a person in their life or something as small as a memory, the thought of something replacing or taking over it scares us and makes us terrified of what is to happen to the old. I feel this theory applies to how the cycle of K-pop works. There is a generation people love with a bunch of amazing groups who have made their mark in whatever amazing way. Then when the next generation starts to debut, the stans of the older generation get scared and start to shamelessly hate on the newer generation, saying stuff like, they are mediocre singers, they are only dancers, and more. There is nothing wrong with commenting on a music genre that you enjoy and want to see the best out of it. But a lot of people have just now hopped on the bandwagon of K-pop 4th gen groups just aren't good, which is a generalization of a bunch of groups that at most debuted 3 years ago and at least months ago. I understand why 3rd gen stans can sometimes think in this cold manner toward the 4th generation, because I was just like them. I despised the 4th generation so much that I would be such a critique when it came to their songs. Sometimes I would even hop on the "it sounds like a copy of 3rd gen music" train. I've grown from that now, and so have other 3rd gen stans, but there are still a lot of them, to the point where it just looks like straight jealousy. Next, we're gonna talk about the hypocrisy in the 3rd gen fandoms when it comes to their bitterness of the 4th gen. The same fandoms that are whining all the time about how 4th gen groups aren't worthy of becoming the new faces of K-pop are the fandoms that should show compassion to these groups. Did y'all forget how the 2nd generation stans did the same to you? They chewed the 3rd gen and spat them out all the time, and they're still bitter today and the butt of everyone's joke. It's sad that some 3rd gen stans have gotten to this point, because it makes the whole entire 3rd gen fandom look embarrassing and hella hypocritical. You do not want to end up being the thing you hate the most, so try and do better. Let's talk about 4th gen stans, because not everything wrong with 4th gen is about the other generations. The 4th gen needs to stop with the constant comparing of each other. I get that people want to fill the big 3 spots. By big 3 I mean the top 3 girl groups, the top 3 boy groups, and just the top group in general. Why are y'all fighting over groups that haven't even been around for that long? You gotta give them time to grow before you start comparing who is the monsters of the 4th gen. Let me just say that there is nothing wrong with hyping up your faves and getting excited for their achievements to come. That's the best part about being a stan of new groups. It becomes a problem though when they start fighting about it, because there is no use in fighting over something that hasn't happened yet. I'll see people on Twitter making little comments about how they think TXT, Treasure, or Stray Kids are going to be the next big thing, and you'll see some other fanbase from another 4th gen fandom involving their faves or insulting a group, which is something that still happens in the 3rd gen. But I honestly think when it comes to the 4th gen there is no point, because again these groups are like from 3 years old to a couple months. This is a problem that is so heavy in the K-pop community, and I honestly wish that we would talk about it more. K-pop are not very good with change or sharing. Change meaning how a change in the flow of K-pop can send a whole fandom into a frenzy, or how fans for some reason find it hard to share the spotlight of a famous group with another famous group, and how everything has to be a completion. And just because I say this in a negative connotation doesn't mean I necessarily hate competition, but only when it's executed properly. After talking about so many negatives, I thought of just saying something positive about each generation's fanbase, because I believe in ending off on a high note. The second gen are so wise when it comes to how to voice their opinions. I think it's just because they are older, so they really grew into that. The third gen are seriously dedicated. They are there for their groups and have never let anyone mess with them, which I can respect. The fourth gen fandoms are so wholesome, especially the fourth gen fandoms that have groups that debuted after third gen groups from the same company, because they'll sometimes treat the third gen groups fandom like mentors on what to do in a fandom. Thanks for watching this video. I'm so happy that you stayed to watch this whole video. I'm also sorry if I sounded like a third or fourth gen auntie. I'm a fan of both generations and love the groups and the fans. I hope you have a good day or night. Stay sunny.